Good day, Crime Talk aficionados. My name is Scott Reich, and this is Crime Talk. We have a great docket for you today, so let's get to it. First, is Netflix going to make Lori Vallow famous? Kiely Rodni, accident or foul play? That public official in Las Vegas may not be smirking much longer. A young lady was rescued from a kidnapping, and finally, our dumb criminal of the day. Let's talk about it. Good day, aficionados. My name is Scott Reich. Thanks for watching. You know the drill. Subscribe if you haven't, like if you do, leave me a comment, and hit that little bell so that you receive notifications when we go live or put up new content. I want to appreciate everybody for showing up last night to our live as well as our Patreon show. We were on fire, that's for sure. Anyway, also remember, you can listen to us anytime by downloading us on your favorite podcasting app as well. So you can listen to Crime Talk anywhere, anytime. All right, let's go ahead and open the docket for September 14th of 2022. First, is Netflix going to make Lori Vallow famous? As if she wasn't famous already. But for those who have already seen or starting to watch that Netflix series, let's go ahead and give you a quick recap. First, the Netflix 3-part true crime docuseries titled Sins of Our Mother details the devastating and terrifying story of that mom from Idaho. That's right, Lori Vallow. Now, obviously, she's been accused, along with her, not once, not twice, not 3 times, not 4, but her 5th husband, Chad Daybell, is accused of murdering 2 of her children, and maybe Chad's wife as well. Now, the series is supposed to show how Lori met Chad while working on a podcast and adopted Chad's extreme doomsday belief, including the idea that an apocalypse was coming. The people in Lori's life, including her only remaining son, Colby, who just had very serious charges dismissed against him last week in Arizona, are interviewed about the events that led up to the death of Lori's 2 children. Now, the Idaho mother is obviously accused of murdering her 17-year-old daughter, Kiely, and the 7-year-old son, JJ, with her 5th husband, Chad Daybell. The couple has also been accused of killing Chad's former wife, Tammy. Now, we're going to find out that Lori was raised as a Mormon, and in the recording in the documentary, she's thought she was a reincarnated warrior who spoke to the angel Moroni. This is the same angel that the Latter-day Saints founder Joseph Smith said he spoke to on numerous occasions. Now, according to the docuseries, Lori eventually met Chad, also a Mormon and an author who wrote about the apocalypse, and said that he would determine if people were on the light or dark side of a spiritual spectrum. Now, Lori and Chad's spouses obviously both died right before the 2 got married. I know it may sound strange, but that's true. Now, body cam footage is shown in the documentary featuring Lori's former husband, Charles, saying that Lori was threatened to kill him because a demon named Ned lived inside of him. Now, a lot of this stuff, we've already shown it to you here on Crime Talk, but we're just giving people who are not familiar with this case a quick recap. Then on July 11th of 2019, Charles was shot by Lori's brother, Alex, in an alleged act of self-defense after Charles visited Lori's home. Now, then the docuseries then explains that Lori purchased a ring from Amazon for her October wedding to Chad only a few weeks before his wife Tammy died in her sleep of apparent natural causes, which we all know the body was exhumed, and obviously now there's been charges of murder. The autopsy hasn't been released, but if you watch regularly, you already knew that. Well, Lori's 2 younger children, obviously Kiely and JJ, went missing in September of 2019. At the time, Lori told people that Kiely was at Brigham Young University's Idaho campus and that young JJ was attending homeschool. The docuseries says that JJ's grandparents panicked when they couldn't locate JJ or Kiely. Lori and Chad went on the run and refused to answer questions as to the whereabouts of the children. The police were soon involved, and in June of 2020, the remains of both children were found in Chad's Idaho property, with authorities alleging that the couple had murdered the children back in September of 2019. They were charged with first-degree murder and conspiracy in the death of Lori's children, finally in 2021. The couple believed that they were on a mission that required them to kill zombies, which were people who they believed had spirits that had left their body. A friend told authorities that Lori called her two youngest children as zombies, and at one point they said that a dark spirit possessed Tammy. Lori was arrested in early 2020 when she failed to show authorities that the fact the children were safe. The children's bodies were found a few months later. Lori and Chad are currently awaiting their January 2023 trial date, dealing with the alleged murders of various family members, obviously, and that Lori faces the following charges: first-degree murder in the death of Kiely Rodni, first-degree murder in the death of J.J. Vallow, first-degree murder in the death of Tammy Daybell, conspiracy to commit first-degree murder and grand theft by deception in the death of Kiely, conspiracy to commit first-degree murder and grand theft by deception in the death of J.J., and conspiracy to commit first-degree murder in the death of Tammy. And Lori could face the death penalty. Now, we'll see how much the series goes into the mental health aspect of it, given the fact that Lori spent 10 months being restored to competency so that the case can proceed. I will give you a full update after I've finished watching all 3 episodes. We've seen it already because we've been following this case, but I'll let you know if it's worth your time. All right. Next on the docket, Kiely Rodni. Okay. Is this just a terrible accident, or is there some foul play? A diver who found the body of missing California teen Kiely Rodni, and he says in the back cargo hatch of her car, submerged in a reservoir, has doubled down on his claim that he believes her death is suspicious. Now, Adventures with Purpose diver, a guy by the name of Doug Bishop, said for Rodni's vehicle to end up there where it did, she would have to make a sharp left turn onto a dirt path about a quarter mile from the main road. Bishop also pointed out they found her remains in the cargo hatch of the vehicle, even though the passenger side window was open and rear driver's side window was halfway down. He says it doesn't add up. He says that it reeks of foul play. Now, Bishop explained that once Rodni's vehicle entered the water, it would have sank quickly, and it would not have made any sense for her to crawl over the seats and into the hatch, especially when the windows were open. He says, quote, "You're not going to crawl into the back and climb under a seat," end quote. Now, the Oregon-based civilian dive team located Rodni's body last month in a reservoir that had already been searched by authorities just a quarter mile from where she went missing from a party at the Tahoe National Forest campground. The Nevada Sheriff's Office had said that they were not provided any updates until November. Bishop has stated that he believes the delay supports his theory that Rodni's death is not an accident, but in fact foul play. However, Tammy Waters of Sonar Search and Recovery pushed back against Bishop's theory. She says 90% of vehicles found with people in it are normally found in the back, she said. If it's an SUV, they're in the hatch. She explained that the engine is the heaviest part of the car, which would mean that that end would nosedive first. Now, as the vehicle is sinking, they're climbing to the back to try to stay out of the water. They're chasing the air, Ms. Waters said. The divers released last week the footage of their search for the teen who vanished from the graduation party on August 6th. They caught on camera moments they told the devastated father, David, that they had found her body in the lake. He questioned how cops had failed to spot the huge car when they claimed they had already scoured the water closest to the party, exclaiming, "That's effing impossible." Now, the search for the teen took 19,000 search hours involving the police, the FBI, and hundreds of volunteers. But it wasn't until Adventures with Purpose joined on August 21st that she was finally found. Now, the diver, Bishop, who is a former tow truck driver and now a sonar expert, along with scuba instructor Nick Rinn, searched the Prosser Reservoir for just about 35 minutes before they found Rodni's body. The SUV was found upside down in the water, about 14 feet down and 55 feet from the shore. Her remains, as we noted, were in the cargo hatch. She's in the back of the vehicle. She's not in the driver's seat. It looks suspicious, according to Mr. Wren. She was also confirmed to not be wearing a seatbelt in the upside-down vehicle when it was discovered 3 weeks after she went missing, meaning she would have been able to move around. Now, in the video, AWP shows how the team took 2 sonar boats onto the water at 10:40 a.m. on August 21st and identified Kiely's 2013 silver Honda under the water at 11:15 a.m. They confirmed that her body was found in the back of the car with the passenger window broken and the driver's rear window halfway down. She was also confirmed to not be wearing a seatbelt, and the exact circumstances that led to the window being opened and broken are unclear at this time. Now, after surfacing from their dive, Nick Wren, part of the team, said she is in the back of the vehicle and she's not in the driver's seat. It looks suspicious to me. Vehicle is upside down, one window is halfway down, another window is all the way down. The team then called Rodni's relatives before contacting authorities, with her father, David, and grandfather rushing to the scene to see what the divers found. When told how close to the shore the car was and that it was in the same area that cops had previously scoured, how could that effing happen? How could they have missed it? That's impossible. Her father then asked a few questions about how she was found before getting emotional and saying, "I can't see this because it's going to be my last memory and I can't effing do it," before leaving the scene. Now, dive teams from the Placer County, Nevada County, and Alameda County were all involved in the search for the teen who vanished after a party at the Prosser family campground on August 6th. Her cell phone last pinged around 12:30 a.m. near the campground's reservoir after she texted her mother to say that she was headed back to Truckee, just 12 miles from the party. Authorities, including the FBI, said they had scanned through nearly 2,000 tips in the 2-week hunt for Rodni and spent almost 20,000 hours looking for her. The teenager sent her mother, Lindsay, a text message saying she's planned to leave in 45 minutes at approximately 11:30 p.m. She had been due to meet friends at a local Starbucks at 9 a.m. ahead of a camping trip, but failed to show up, prompting her mother to sound the alarm. Police are waiting for a full autopsy with toxicology reports and say the investigation is ongoing, but they confirmed that the remains were in fact that of Kiely. Placer County Sheriff's Officer Captain Sam Brown said at a press conference that the cops linked up with AWP after realizing an interest and reading about it online. Mr. Bishop explained in the video, spotting the weird reading on the sonar scanner. He said, "That is giving me a really weird reading. It looks like just a car. It looks like an SUV. It's giving me some misreadings, just a way newer car would." Now, the Oregon-based group says it has solved more than 20 missing person cases using sonar and search and rescue techniques for its dive team. Mr. Bishop said they put 2 sonar boats in the water and detected the object with sonar technology. Mr. Bishop said he was able to confirm it was in fact a vehicle. Wren put on his gear and conducted the dive to examine the car. Once we confirmed it was indeed Kiely's vehicle, we immediately notified the family, law enforcement, and the teen's dad and the grandpa were on scene within minutes, according to Mr. Bishop. We're just going to have to wait and see what is in the toxicology and what autopsy determines as to the cause and manner of death. This is one of those cases where it may seem plausible. As the one expert pointed out, she was trying to get to the back of the car. Sometimes when people panic, they don't realize the situation around them, or it could be foul play. I don't know. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Let's talk about it. Please go to CrimeTalkSearch.com, sign up for a background subscription service. You'll be happy you did. If there's anyone out there you were ever curious about what was in their background, now is the time to do it. If you're going to get involved with somebody, now is the time to do it. When you go to CrimeTalkSearch.com, you put in the name, literally millions of public records are searched, and a report is generated. And it's going to give you a report. If they have multiple social media accounts, you're going to find it. If they have multiple phone numbers, multiple email addresses, it's going to be found. And more importantly, you're going to get information regarding criminal history. Hopefully the person you're searching has none whatsoever. But if it's there, it's going to be found. you're going to get everything you'd want to know. Whether you're going into business or whether you're going into a personal relationship, you're going to be able to find out the information you want to know. So go to crimetalksearch.com, sign up today. You'll be happy you did. Next on the docket, that's right. Look at that little smirk. Well, that smirking public official has appeared in court charged with the murder of a Las Vegas journalist who exposed his affair. Clark County Public Administrator Robert Tellis is accused of killing Jeff German, a reporter with the Las Vegas Review-Journal, outside of his home. Now, German was stabbed to death on September 3rd after publishing a series of articles exposing married Tellis' affair and mismanagement of his public office. Tellis appeared in front of a judge, smirking as he was told his next appearance in the case would be September 20th. He wore the Navy jail-issued uniform, smiling and nodding during the proceedings, although he did remain handcuffed before being led away. Now, the official did not speak during the hearing and had white bandages up his arms from his suicide attempt before officers arrested him for the charge of murder. Now, an arrest report shows that he barricaded himself inside his home, made a suicidal statement, and slashed his arms with a knife when SWAT teams arrived to arrest him. He was also suspected of taking drugs in the moments before he was cuffed, forcing officers to take him to the hospital before he was booked into the county jail. Now, the Clark County District Attorney Steve Wolfson says he plans to ask the judge to set a very high bail for Tellis because he poses a flight risk and a danger to the community. The next big telling indicator if somebody in fact did something wrong, obviously, is flight, shows consciousness of guilt, but so does attempted suicide. Just saying. Now, Mr. Tellis is currently being held without bail and faces one count of murder with the use of a deadly weapon. It comes after city officials said despite the murder charge, Mr. Tellis will remain in his role and continue receiving his $130,000 a year salary until another person is elected. Police said in a press conference last week they had discovered a straw hat and a pair of shoes that matched the outfit of a suspect caught on surveillance video in German's neighborhood around the time he was stabbed 7 times in the torso. Both shoes and hat had been cut into pieces, but blood was still visible on the soles of the sneakers. Now, German spent months reporting on the turmoil in Tellis' office and how he lost his re-election bid in June. He also revealed that Tellis was having an affair with a colleague after German published a video of him exiting a vehicle with his lover. Now, staffer Roberta Lee Kennett left the back seat of the car at the same time as the official and can be seen hoisting her skirt down. Well, I mean, there's lots of reasons that could have happened, I'm sure. Mr. Tellis denied all of the allegations against him by German, including the affair and the claim that he oversaw an abusive workplace. His home was searched by the Las Vegas police hours before his arrest after they issued a release saying that they were searching for an individual dressed in a large sun hat and high visibility jacket. He was released by officers and refused to deny that he was responsible for the murder of the journalist when approached by reporters. By 6 p.m. on Wednesday, police had returned to Mr. Tellis' home in tactical gear and were surrounding the home while Tellis remained inside. About 30 minutes later, he was wheeled out of the home on a stretcher and loaded into an ambulance. Police sources also claim the DNA from under German's fingernails matched a sample taken from Tellis, which led to his arrest. Tellis had been railing against Mr. German for months, including an angry series of messages on social media in which he accused him of rifling through his trash and writing lying smear pieces about him. His colleagues at the Review-Journal helped to track down the suspected killer when they staked out the suspect's home after recalling the tweets sent by Tellis to German. They discovered a red GMC Yukon Denali matching the police description parked in his driveway. Using skills they learned on the job with German, the 5-person team at the newspaper sprung into action because that's what Jeff would have wanted us to do, they said. Police later carried out a search warrant on the home, and his car was towed by midday on Wednesday. The DNA of the official was found at the site of the investigative reporter's fatal stabbing, And obviously, Tellus lashed out at the German in a series of public Twitter posts accusing the reporter of preparing lying smear pieces. By Jeff German, saying he was a one-trick pony. I think he's mad that I haven't crawled into a hole and died. In a second post, the official said he added, "Wife hears rustling in the trash. Her, honey, is there an animal in trash? Me, no, dear. Look, it's Jeff German going through our trash for his fourth story on me. Oh, Jeff." Now, Mr. German's colleagues said they were just doing what he had taught them to do, following the story and aggressively trying to find out what happened. That's going to be an interesting one. You know, you got the ego of a politician accused of murder. I mean, what wouldn't be interesting about that? Next, a rescued teen. A rescued teenager who was allegedly kidnapped and sexually assaulted was rescued by police after she secretly used a tracking app on her smartphone to reveal her location in Georgia. Now, the 17-year-old girl was allegedly sexually assaulted at knife point by Dalton Ramsey after he convinced the teenager to meet him by offering to drive her to Pennsylvania to meet her boyfriend, according to police. Now, Ramsey, who had met the victim online, allegedly detoured to B.T. Brown Reservoir in Coweta County, Georgia on September 5th, where he allegedly bound the girl's hands with tape before sexually assaulting her whilst holding a knife to her throat. What a nice guy. Seriously, are you kidding me? What kind of loser is this? The only way he could be with a woman is to kidnap her and sexually assault her by knife point? Are you kidding me? What a loser. Well, the young lady's boyfriend searched for the B.T. Brown Reservoir online and found an image of a sign warning people that an alligator had been sighted in the area before sending it to the victim. Now, the victim confirmed that she had seen the sign outside the park, according to the police. Now, Ramsey, who was seen on video pulling up outside the park in his gray sedan, then drove the girl along the highway. But the victim quickly used the app Noon Light to send a distress call, allowing the company to track her phone and alert authorities. Once the Noon Light app is opened, if the user does not type in a passcode within a certain amount of time, the app will try to contact them. The girl managed to respond and type the word rape and a description of Ramsey's car, meaning authorities were able to quickly track down the victim and the suspect. Police in nearby Habersham County pulled over Ramsey's car and rescued the teenager before arresting the suspect about 5:20 a.m. on September 6th, the morning after the victim was abducted. The victim has since been reunited with her family, and Mr. Ramsey, that total loser, is currently in custody at the Habersham County Sheriff's Office, where he is facing charges of kidnapping and sexual assault. Once released from the Habersham County, Ramsey will be transferred to the Coweta County to face charges of the sexual assault, kidnapping, aggravated assault with a weapon, and possession of a knife during the commission of a crime. What a loser. Like, seriously, man? Seriously? Seriously? I just don't get that. All right. Next, our dumb criminal of the day. Now, brace yourself. Please meet Al Pacino June. That's right. Mr. June's first name is Al Pacino, all one word. Now, Mr. June was busted Friday and booked into the Orange County Jail in Orlando. After Mr. June did not show up for a September 1 court hearing, a judge revoked his bond and issued an arrest warrant. Now, Mr. June, a.k.a. Al Pacino June, was initially busted in early June for allegedly pummeling his 24-year-old girlfriend in the face and stomach as she drove him to work in her car. The woman, who was 6 months pregnant at the time, told police that she asked June to think of his unborn child, but he continued to strike her, according to the arrest affidavit. When the vehicle approached an intersection across the street from an Orlando emergency room, the victim turned off the vehicle, jumped out, and ran towards the ER. Before fleeing on foot, Mr. June, police allege, stole the woman's iPhone and purse, which contained her credit card, driver's license, and social security card. Al Pacino June was subsequently arrested after cops traced the victim's phone to an Orlando residence, where he was found sitting in a parked vehicle. A search of June turned up marijuana, ecstasy, and the victim's driver's license and social security card. Well, Mr. Al Pacino, all one word, June, you are a dumb criminal of the day. Congratulations. First, you're just dumb and you're a coward for going around hitting pregnant women. Didn't anybody ever teach you? You never, ever, ever, ever hit a girl. Ever. And the fact that you did that, she had to flee, and they found you at home with the items that you stole from your girlfriend, the mother of your child. Not only are you a coward, you're just an idiot. Congratulations, Mr. June. You made it. Dumb criminal of the day. All right, that's all we have for you today. We'll see you next time on Crime Talk.